My freeloading roommate secretly moved her sister and boyfriend in and expected me to cover everything, because that's what friends do. So I called her parents and watched them drag her home in disgrace. So my roommate Jessica is the most entitled person I've ever met, and I can't believe it took me this long to see it. We've lived together for 2 years, and at first everything seemed fine, but looking back, the red flags were everywhere. It started small, like her borrowing my clothes without asking, then getting mad when I asked for them back. She'd say things like, "We're the same size, what's the big deal?" even though she stretched out my favorite sweater. Then she started eating my food, and when I labeled it, she'd laugh and call me uptight. Her boyfriend Kyle basically lived with us rent-free, and she couldn't understand why that bothered me. The real problem started 6 months ago when I got promoted at work. Suddenly, she was constantly making passive-aggressive comments about me, thinking I'm better than everyone, and how money was changing me. I wasn't even making that much more, but I could finally afford to not eat ramen every night, and apparently that made me bougie. She started bringing people over constantly for these loud parties on weeknights, knowing I had to be up at 6 a.m. When I asked her to keep it down, she told everyone I was jealous because I didn't have friends. The truth was, my friends didn't want to come over anymore because she would hit on their boyfriends and cause drama. Then, 3 weeks ago, everything imploded. I came home to find she'd moved her sister Britt into our apartment without telling me. Just moved her right into the living room with all her stuff everywhere. When I freaked out, Jessica said Britt was going through a breakup and needed support, and that I should be more compassionate. I told her Britt couldn't stay without paying rent, and Jessica lost it, calling me heartless and selfish. The next day, I talked to our landlord, Mr. Peterson, about the situation. Turns out Jessica hadn't paid her portion of rent in 3 months, and had been telling him I would cover it. He was about to start eviction proceedings on both of us. I showed him my bank statements proving I'd paid my half every month, and he agreed to give me 30 days to figure it out. When I confronted Jessica, she acted like it was no big deal, and said she knew I'd cover it because that's what friends do. I told her she had 2 weeks to pay me back the $2,400 she owed, or I was taking her to small claims court. She laughed in my face and said I wouldn't dare because I'd look like the bad friend. So I went nuclear. I called her parents. Yeah, I did. Told them everything. The rent situation, her sister living illegally in our apartment, the fact that Kyle was basically squatting, all of it. Her mom was mortified. Apparently, Jessica had been telling them she was paying all the rent because I lost my job. They'd been sending her extra money every month to help out. Her dad called her immediately, and I could hear the screaming from my bedroom. They gave her 48 hours to move back home, or they were cutting her off completely. She came stomping into my room crying, saying I ruined her life and demanding I call them back and say I lied. I just stared at her and said, "We're the same size, what's the big deal?" The same thing she always said about my clothes. Kyle tried to intimidate me the next day, showing up when Jessica wasn't there and getting in my face about destroying their relationship. I pulled out my phone and started calling the police. He left so fast he forgot his Xbox, which I sold on the marketplace for $300 toward what Jessica owed me. They were gone within 36 hours. Jessica, Britt, Kyle, all their crap, gone. Her parents paid me the back rent and apologized profusely. Her mom even offered to pay for the carpet cleaning since Britt's dog had ruined it. While they were moving out, Jessica kept trying to guilt trip me, saying I knew Britt had nowhere to go and that she thought we were like sisters. I told her sisters not to steal from each other and lie to everyone. She texted me last week asking if we could talk and maybe work things out because living with her parents was killing her. Apparently, they make her pay rent, do chores, and have a curfew now. I didn't even respond, just blocked her on everything. The best part? My new roommate, Destiny, is incredible. She pays rent early, cleans up after herself, and her girlfriend brings us homemade brownies every Sunday. Last night we were watching movies and she said, "I heard about the Jessica situation from mutual friends and honestly, you're a saint for lasting 2 years." Sometimes I think about how different things could have been if Jessica had just been a decent person, but then I remember she made her choices. Her parents still send me Christmas cards thanking me for opening their eyes to what their daughter was really like. Living well really is the best revenge, especially when you're not spending $800 a month covering someone else's rent.